All right, hey everyone, welcome to a Zelda Speedrun Skyward Sword Talk to Yerbal tournament. This is a Group B round through with Tato ISR versus 64-bit Link. And on commentary today, we got KitKat. How's it going, man?
Yeah, it's going good. Yeah. This is the Talk to Yerbal tournament. Again, just a little backstory. Yerbal as a character was skipped in every single main category, and so the creator of this category, 64-bit Link, was just like, why don't I just make a category where the goal is to talk to Yerbal? And we discovered that was actually a pretty good race category, so now there's a tournament about it. Just a mini one, but it's still going to be interesting nonetheless. So this matchup, it's Tato ISR versus 64-bit Link. I honestly think this could actually be quite a close matchup, because I think Tato, he's a newcomer, but I think he's definitely been improving very quickly. And again, 64-bit, I think anything can happen this time.
What is this?
So it's going to be interesting to see who comes up on top.
What is this? I'm scared.
Right, so with the file names, we've got Cronge on Tato and Y on 64-bit. Normally in this game, the less character file, the less characters in your file name, the better, because text scrolls. So we see 64-bit here being optimal and Tato not. Also, one thing to note, they are both playing on English. That will be significant towards more the end of the run. We'll kind of see that. It looks like both runners are ready, and we're just waiting for the countdown.
Right.
And again, I do think this will be definitely an interesting race. And yeah, this is also this is Group B as well, the best category because I'm in it. On the best group, I mean. But yeah, this is just want to talk about the category that the tournament format. This is double elimination in groups, then it's single elimination. Basically, there's about 9 people. Both are put into groups of 5, and then when there are 2 people remaining from each group, they'll go into a single elimination bracket, and whoever wins that wins the tournament. So fairly simple, and yeah. It's definitely, again, going to be very interesting. Alright, so countdown has started, at least on my screen, and yeah, the runners will hopefully start, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, if there's any problems with people understanding me or technical issues, just let me know because I can probably fix it. Okay, and they're off and they're skipping cutscenes because this is hero mode, because that's the fastest version. You could do this in normal mode, although why would you? That's just basically torture. So yeah, right out of the gate, Skylift is going to be, compared to casually, it's going to be quite broken. We're also going to be doing stuff like talking to Fledge to get some scene flags so that back in time is more useful later on. And we see after this, Tato with a lead on my screen. Yep, I don't know if that's because it's a very small one, as it's only not even a minute in, and it might just be stream delays, but we'll see. Yeah, and also in normal mode, you have to deal with so much other stuff like cutscene skip flag dupes for fanbit, as Mario Run is mentioning in the chat. It's just a mess. So we do go out of our way to get hero mode, and you can again see by the text scrolling, these people are on English. English in most in basically all major categories is not used at all because the text difference from Japanese is so huge. But here actually, English, at least NTSC 1.0, has a significant advantage over, or has one advantage over Japanese, which actually makes it kind of balanced. So in this tournament, a lot of runners are choosing where to go with English, which is actually the safer version, or the Japanese, which is a slightly faster but harder version. But both these guys, both these are chosen English. So right out the gate, we're going to see some quite confusing back in time stuff, and this is Killing Post. Tato decided to line it up, and so does 64-bit Link. That is not optimal, but it's safer. Says me, the guy who basically always fails Killing Post. Yeah, and as people mentioning in the chat, Japanese text scrolls significantly faster, making it about 1 million times more optimal for just about any category except this. Actually, no, even this, it's Japanese is still technically the faster language. You don't want to run this game at all with like PAL or NTSC 1.1 because the reason why NTSC 1.0 is advantageous is because it has a version exclusive glitch, which we will actually see in this run. Hence why it's actually somewhat level with JP. So basically what the runners are doing, once they die, they're pressing continue and they are dying. What this does is that it allows us to basically play on the title screen similar to other Zeldas, like TP and Wind Waker. And unlike TP and Wind Waker, there's actually a lot of stuff we can do on this, so get ready for this to be 90% of the run. So this is kind of a good introduction to Back in Time, as it kind of covers most of the basics almost instantly. So on Back in Time, the bird statues are activated, so what you'll see Tado doing, and then 64-bit, is... oh, he just failed it. Okay. Well, they're going to select a file and then save, and what this will do is this will put the... it'll put the file onto Back in Time Skyloft, which will be useful, we'll see in a second, but yeah, it's useful. And now these people are running up to the goddess statue, because in Back in Time, Skyloft is a very specific layer, and some actors are missing, including this door right here, so we can just walk into the goddess statue. Now we're going to pick up the goddess sword. This is important because we're actually going to be setting a scene flag in Back in Time, which will allow us to get to the surface early. So again, Tado picking it up, and 64-bit just following behind. Excuse my chair noises, I have a loud chair. Alright, so yeah, so then we're going to use the goddess sword to do a Skyward strike, which is one of the like kind of exclusive abilities of this game, and this sword to basically hit this crest, and it will open up this pillar, as you can call it? This pedestal, that's the right name. This pedestal where we'll place the Emerald Tablet. Yeah, Emerald Tablet. This is the first tablet. This tablet you get automatically after obtaining a goddess sword, and then in the game's eyes, we just legitimately got the goddess sword, so he was like, here, have the Emerald Tablet, even though we're Back in Time. So what we're actually going to be committing is that we're going to be committing this story flag of the Emerald Tablet being in and the Farron Pillar being activated. So these runners are going to start the file at a very specific moment, and what that does is that it sets the flag for the Farron Pillar being unlocked on the specific file, and as you'll see later, the Farron Pillar will be unlocked to us way earlier than intended. And this is known as reverse bit magic, and name's confusing. The whole stuff about it is even more confusing. So yeah, and again, these runners saved on Back in Time Skyloft because of the door is unlocked, so we can get to the goddess statue early. And now we're actually going to get the real goddess sword, because we didn't actually get the goddess sword. We just kind of got it in Back in Time. Like, that specific flag did not commit, so we have to do that normally. Because the game only allows like a very small amount of time for the flag to commit. It's weird, but it's how it goes. Okay, so after a certain point, Skyloft is going to be fairly casual. We've kind of got through kind of the first chunk of unusual stuff up until like the ceremony wing ceremony cutscene skip, which is the trick of this game. So up until then, it's going to be fairly casual. And a lot of this is definitely more about movement, so this will definitely be a good test of the runner's movement and stuff. So coming out of this Tado with a slight lead, which is pretty cool. And then 64-bit just falling behind. But yeah, just as they're kind of running around Scarf, I'm going to probably talk about a bit about the movement of this game. So this movement, the game's movement is like... unlike other Zeldas, excluding Breath of the Wild, this game actually has a stamina meter where you can run for the first time when it was brought into the game. So running is, of course, the fastest way. Rolling is still faster, though. It's faster by, like, 1 frame. But it depletes more of your stamina, so it becomes a kind of a huge game of, trying to... kind of manage your stamina whilst trying to be as optimal as you can with rolling and stuff. So that's a huge part of this game. And as someone who says he's good at the game, I mean, yeah, someone who says he's good at the game, me, would say that movement is a very important part of getting better at this game. So now we're just gonna get into our cave. Okay, we're going to get into the cave. That's how you English properly, yes. Yeah, that is where the Loftwing is, because that's where Groose and the boys hid it. So we have to go get it. And in a speedrun, Loftwing is significant because that's what allows us to actually get to the surface. And yeah. Gets into his cave. Yeah, okay. Okay, so you'll see Tado right now. He's taking intentional damage. This is intentional. This is not just him being bad. This is intentional. It's because after the Wing Ceremony cutscene skip, assuming the runners will get it, it's fairly consistent, but we'll get that later. Assuming the runners get it, runners get it, they will want to do activate back in time again. And if you're surprised by the amount of back in time in this game, don't be. There'll be a lot of it in this 1 hour run. So yeah. So just as we're about to save the Loftwing, we can see Tado still has that small lead. But if Exo versus Jasnik's taught me anything, small leads this early don't mean much because we still have the entire run to go. I don't know why my chair... I don't know if you can even hear this, but my chair is really loud. I apologize. But what we're going to do here, we're going to copy file 2 to file 3. We started on file 2, by the way. Copy file 2 to file 3 because currently the current file has useful properties we'll take advantage of in back in time later. So we're going to copy file 2 to file 3. And then save our Loftwing. Okay, so cage break is kind of hard. It's often where like a lot of kind of runners mess up. Tado doing it somewhat clean. It wasn't optimal, but it could be much worse. And 64-bit again, not just very shortly behind. Ooh, someone did the summon Trez. I wonder if he'll show up. Alright, so what Tado is basically going through is basically just like the tutorial part. This is nothing extra, it's just kind of a big auto-scroller. What is coming up though is the Wing Ceremony cutscene skip. This is a, after save prompts, you have like control of ink for like 2 frames and you can side hop. This would be easy, except there is no like audio or visual cue, so people just kind of have to mash it. Tado claims to have a really good timing method, but we are going to see if that pays off. And again, yeah, both runners are still fairly close, although it is just 10 minutes into the run. Okay, so apparently Tado's going to do a save and quit strat. And then on the cancel, he's apparently going to time it, and hopefully it will work. If it does, he'll get a lot of time. And he got it. Alright, so that's good for Tado, because now 64-bit has to get it, otherwise he loses 90 seconds over Tado, so... yeah, he has to get it now. Okay, he's just going to do the regular save strat. And... oh, he gets it as well, nice. Okay, so... both runners don't have it, they didn't mess up, so that's good. Okay, so... now is a really confusing back in time. So basically we're going to do a file dupe. File duping is essentially just copying files. You'll notice that the file 1 is also a hero mode file. That is significant because what we're going to do is we're going to select file 1, we're going to go all the way back out to the splash screen, and then as we save at the statue, we're just going to save. And what this will do, for some reason, is it will save the properties of file 3 on whatever the... on whatever file we selected was last. In this case, it's file 1, so properties of file 3 copied over to file 1. So it doesn't look like it, but file 1 has some properties that we're going to take advantage of. And this RBM will end basically by going into the sky. Tato did the safe version where he started the file into the sky. And it looked like it worked. And I think 64-bit should do the same. You'd be really nuts to do the the kind of YOLO strat. As Exto found out when he did his Group A round 2 match, and he lost that because he went for the YOLO strat. And failing this is really bad. So yeah. Bit magic is a fun glitch, yeah. I'll explain more about bit magic later, although you don't really have much time to explain much about bit because so much is happening at once. But I'll try to explain it as best I can. If you don't get it, just don't try to think about it too much. It's confusing. Okay, so it looks like 64-bit might have got optimal movement, but the grade kind of just juked him and went to like a hard left. So that's fine. I don't think Tato got optimal grade there, so I think 64-bit's fine. Right, so basically what we're going to do now is, as we're in the sky, we need to we have a loft wing, but we need a way to like dive off of the loft wing and stuff. Even though it says dive, I don't know if we actually could, but just to pretend we can't. And also we need to actually save the loft wing in the first place, because on file 1, the loft wing is not saved. So we're just going to do that. And the runners are dying because that's just the fastest way to get to Skyloft. Like, technically you don't actually have to die. You can fly to Skyloft, but there's like no point. Also, that doesn't mean you have to do cage break a second time, which is very annoying if you're not great at it, but it is what it is, so yeah. I think it's only no back in time. I think it's only that major category which only has to do this once. I'm just trying to think about. I don't run Hundo, so I couldn't tell you about Hundo. I'm pretty sure all dungeons any percent have to. I know any percent does because I run it. I'm pretty sure all dungeons has to do it twice. And yeah, and basically as we have the loft wing on file 1, we are able to now dive to the Farron pillar. And what we're going to do here, we're actually going to land on this rock here, which will give us intentional 4 hearts of damage, which will be useful later. And with that, both runners are entering Farron. Again, Toto with a very small lead, but this lead can change. And from his splits, it looks like he's on a PP pace. But again, we still have all the run left to go, so it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Yeah, he's on PB pace by like 5 seconds, which is pretty cool. And apparently so 64-bit by 3 seconds. So we might see 2 PBs, although I shouldn't really speak too soon. Commentator's curse or like whatever. So on the screen we're going to save and die. That's because we are going to... Now normally in casually you have to do a bunch of this stuff around the sealed grounds. We're going to skip all of that by reverse bit warping into it. Bit warping as a whole, including reverse, is basically just where you use back in time to warp to a certain place. Yeah, that's about it. I'll obviously explain more later, but that's all you really need to know about the basics. So basically, we're going to copy file 3 to file 2 because file 3 has more advantageous properties over the current file 2, so it's just much better to do that. So what I was going to do is going to save in a very specific way, which will allow him to get to the sky and also maintain status. Because I haven't actually said this yet in Back in Time, but it's a very important thing to know. Is that when you select a file in Back in Time, the scene flags, or just the flags in general of that file, will actually be put onto the Back in Time map, which is how a lot of like funky stuff can happen, like a cutscene suddenly playing or doors being open. This is known as bit magic, and we'll see later on in the run. Of course, you do have to commit it, but like there are different rules. Sometimes you just don't have to commit it at all. Sometimes you have to commit it, and sometimes you have to die to commit it. It's like really weird. I don't even really fully understand it. But yeah, and There is a reverse bit. There is reverse bit magic, which we've already kind of seen in the case of getting the goddess sword. But it's basically just putting scene flags from back in time onto our files by starting them at the point of when the kind of scene flags change. And that will be useful for a lot more than. But yeah, we will see that. Actually, now I think about it, I feel like the Yerbal is just a bunch of RBWs. I don't think there are any major reverse RBMs, I think? I don't know. So Tado is basically going to make his way to the Seal Grounds. He's being very particular about his file selection here. Because if you select the wrong file, back in time does kind of like to crash. So, yeah. It do be like that. Actually, I'm thinking, are there actually any? I mean, there's Early Thunderhead. I think there's Early Thunderhead and Goddess Sword. I think that's about it. There are only 2 RBMs. Okay, yeah. I think those ones are the 2, unless I'm done. Oh, Farron Pillar, of course, yeah. Oh, that's what I meant by Goddess Sword, yeah. I know that. Okay, yeah. That's what I was thinking. I don't know why I thought it was Goddess Sword. Too used to like the old stuff. So basically, Tyler's going to save both File 1 and File 2 because it's useful to have both File 1 and File 2 here. And basically, what he's going to do is he's going to start File 2 and save it. I don't entirely know why you do this, but you just do. So there we go. If anyone in chat knows how, like, why we do this, you can basically explain it to me because I don't know. I think it's something to do with scene flags, but I'm not quite sure. Alright, so now start File 1, and now begins the Kikwi chase. So I probably do want to kind of start talking about the whole requirements of this as a category. So in this category, you have to meet Yerbal, which is like the Kikwi hermit guy at the top of the Deku, top of the Great Tree or whatever. And in order to, first of all, you need to wake him up, as that's like how you definitively end the category. And you do this with the slingshot, because that's like the only real option. You can get the beetle, but why would you do that? It's such a dumb thing, because it takes more time to get and other stuff. Okay, you do it to get the Steam Wood, there, see, the Farron Wood Scene Flags. Okay, that's what I was kind of thinking. Oh no, yeah, of course you, okay, yeah. Yeah, you first need the slingshot. Then you need, basically 2 more things. You need the Water Dragon Scale to get into, the Great Tree. And you also need, you also need to get to, the, boss, kind of like the boss entrance of Ancient System, because there's a bird statue there, which has very useful coordinates when it comes to the Great Tree, which we'll see in a minute. They say don't play the scene flags. Okay, yeah. Right, so yeah, so now we're going to spend this entire 10 to 15 minutes just trying to get the slingshot. And basically what that involves is just kind of going around and chasing Kikwis. This is definitely a part where the runner's movement is definitely tested, because there's nothing to do with file management, there's like no fighting. There's a bit of fighting, but it's pretty easy. It's like entirely 100% movement based. Well, 95% movement based. And yeah. So yeah, there isn't much to say here, except, again, this is a very good test of movement. And yeah. Yeah, there is nothing to talk about, basically. Kind of like watch the runners and stuff. But they both seem to be like doing pretty well. Although I did kind of notice a while back, like a few seconds ago, 64-bit did kind of fail a bit of like movement stuff where he like missed the stamina fruit, which would kind of cost some time. But for now, just again, Tado seems to keep his lead. So whilst these guys run around Farron Woods, I'm just going to explain basically the bracket here and what this kind of means is like this race. So the winner will go on to Group B round 3, where he faces either me, CJ, or Deesh, depending on who wins what match. And the loser of this will go to losers round 1. And this is significant because if you win this, the latest in the losers bracket you can go is losers round 3. So to whoever wins this match will have a significant advantage because if you lose this match, you will have to win all 3 of the losers bracket rounds to win. And meanwhile, if you win this, specific match, and you lose the next one, you'll only have to win the next one. So this is definitely a very important race in the terms of Group B stuff. So yeah, so there are about 4 Kikuis in Farron Woods. They're kind of arranged in a very like kind of not circular motion, if I can say. They're kind of laid out sort of like a clock in that, or at least you can collect them in like with like kind of one rotation of Farron Woods. So that's what the runs are going to do. Okay, so just on kind of lead space, it seems to be the okay. Actually, that's dumb because I'm anticipating it being Japanese text because that's what you see like 90% of the time. But now it's like just it's like I was about to say like 64 bits lead is like slowed, but or it's like the lead Tato's lead had shrunk, but that wasn't the case because English is significantly like more. It takes longer. God, my English is on point. Okay, so here you'll see Tado kind of cutting the grass in a very specific way to avoid this kick. I can't remember their names. I know some of their names, but I don't know this one. I think it's Erla, I think. I mean, we'll see on as is English. Yes, Erla. Okay, so you basically saw Tado try to cut the grass in a very specific way. And you want to kind of do it in a way that won't make Erla move, but they did then, so yeah. Alright, so Tado just getting up to the last Kikri, who's just like basically down here and hiding. And 64-bit just about to get to Erla. Okay, so 64-bit got fast Erla, so that small time save. But yeah. So Tado just about to he's about to get a slingshot by talking to the Master of Camouflage himself. Buko, I want to say his name. I don't know. But yeah, in terms of lead, it seems that Tado's definitely kept his lead. If anything, it's kind of grown. But yeah, Buko. Okay, yeah. I guess the Master of Camouflage. He's definitely not visible for like most of the game at all. Okay. But yeah. It's now a slingshot. and I'm sorry to report that Tado is no longer on PB pace. He's in single-digit pluses, or whatever you say. He's ahead. Well, no, he's behind. Yeah, you'd say behind. Yeah. Yeah, ahead is forward, behind is back. Yeah, I know how to speak English. But yep. So yeah, Tado is basically done with that, and he's going to go off to Skyview, which means extending blow, basically. Yeah, I run JP, so I don't know the names because I don't read Japanese. I know a few of them. I know Lupsa, I know Machi, I know like Buka. Yeah, I think Ulu is the other one. I'll just read. I now know all the Kikuis. Nice. Nice. Okay. So now 64-bit just getting the slingshot. And yeah, we're about to see extending blow. Extending blow is an RNG trick. It's about 40 seconds on English, I want to say, and both these runners are in English, so it's fine. And so, judging by this lead, it could be entirely possible that if 64-bit gets it and Tado doesn't, it could be entirely possible that the lead will change. But this is only a 25% chance of happening, assuming the runners don't like mess up physically themselves. So this will definitely be interesting. Oh, looks like Tado's going for his self-proclaimed really good setup. Or actually, no, he's doing a different setup. Okay, he's doing another setup, which is like an older one, but it works. Apparently. But it didn't seem to work that time, as he's failed it. So this will leave room for 64-bit to do it. He has 100% consistent setup. Yeah, apparently. I've like tried to set up legit, but I haven't actually been able to get 100% consistency, or just any real consistency for that matter. So I do think that kind of more research needs to be done. So that'd be good for you. Okay, well I think it might work better for other people in some way. I don't know. If you have any more additional information, Mario, then it could be useful for people to know that. I don't know, like, how do you get it to be more consistent? No. Okay, so now there's the backup of like being cube warp. Basically, you like use this bokoblin to kind of aim a Skyward strike up at the cube, and it teleports you to the position. So it's basically a much easier version of Sword and Shield to get from the from Twilight Princess, and like much easier. Like there's like 100% setup that works all the time. So now we see 64-bit going for extending blow. This will definitely be interesting because again, if he gets it, this will be insane. I mustn't speak. Oh, this is interesting. Can he recover? Doesn't? Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Okay, so he physically messed up then, unfortunately. So now we're even again. 64-bit had an opportunity where he could have took the lead, but he just didn't. Okay, so now there's this fight text, which I believe is... Yeah, no, it's definitely... it's mandatory. Yeah, a lot more consistency with the ledge grab method. Okay, that's interesting. Because I haven't really seemed to have that much consistency. Well, for me, they both feel very similar with like the standard way of doing it, and the other way, with like the ledge grab way. Okay, 64-bit also getting cube warp second try, so that he didn't save or lose any time over Tado either. Yeah, it's entirely possible that it could just be that you're doing something technically better. It might be worth like videoing your stuff if you have your like your capture card. Yeah, it might be worth videoing your stuff, and yeah, so we can have that sweet, juicy like more information or whatever. Okay, so basically we're gonna enter Skyview, I mean. Enter Skyview and exit. This is important. Just trust me on this. Okay, now I'll explain it. And then we're going to save outside here and then die. So activate back in time again. And the reason why we've basically opened up Skyloft is what this does is, and doing this and saving at the deep woods, it will it will basically cause a cutscene to happen. No, like the Thunderhead cutscene to happen. And so that's what the runs are going to do. So start the file, and then you might see just a small glimpse of the Thunderhead cutscene starting. And again, this is all because of like bit magic, where it's like the the cutscene for the Thunderhead that seems like is like on file 1, I think. And yeah. Okay, so now what Tyler's going to do is he is going to fly to the Thunderhead, and this is also confirmation if it worked or not. And we can see that the Thunderhead is now open, even though we didn't have to do all the side quest stuff. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, Toto has a small lead currently, but we're only like halfway into the run, so anything can still happen. Oh, just a reminder, this is the sky. If you look on the screen, it just says the sky, even though we can't really do that. Yeah, and also here you do have to be very careful of tornadoes, because getting hit the first time, you die. It's kind of bad. He almost got hit there. Wow, that was quite close. Yeah, he died. It's kind of quite bad. Okay, so I believe 64-bit might have failed the RBM. It did seem very late. He could have done it. We'll see. Yeah, you also you also skip like Linearu, Harp, Fighting Imprisonment. You skip all that stuff by just doing this, which makes this category significantly much more shorter than it would be otherwise. Alright, we'll see if oh no, it worked. That surprises me, but I'm not gonna like. Yep, cool. Yeah, it skips a lot more doing this. So basically, Tado, during the Thunderhead, he went kind of quite low down to avoid the Sky Tails, which can be quite bad. And please don't, again. Undershooting that can be quite bad. Especially considering that you can, like... Because if you dive off your loft wing, you can't actually cool your loft wing again. Because on file 2, we never actually... I think we did get the loft wing, but I don't know if it's saved that... It's not saved that way, certainly. I think it's because we didn't actually do the wing ceremony, so you can't actually say, like, yeah, I think that's how it works. I don't know. I'm not a genius, man. But either way, you can't cool your loft wing, so it's very important that you don't dive off your loft wing. Okay, so it looks like Toto is just doing this puzzle. This puzzle's pretty easy. There is a small cutscene skip, which is kind of a bonus, like bonus 4 seconds if you get to it. It's frame perfect. But yeah, he didn't get it. It's fine though. It doesn't matter too much. Yeah, now Toto's losing a lot of time over his PB because his PB got extending blow, but his this run doesn't. He's still on like sub 1 pace, which would be very impressive for a run, for like a race run. Yeah, you just mash side hop after the push. It seems to work like that for me. Okay, so now, the whole reason why we did this was to get Furor's Courage. Furor's Courage is the song which allows us to get the scale through the Farron trial. And we're going to go to the Farron trial, basically. Yeah, no, you just have to mash it and just hope for the best, really. There's nothing beyond it. It is frame perfect, so I don't blame you for not getting it. Okay, 64-bit doesn't get it either, so no time save. Okay, so this is definitely one of the more confusing back in times. So if you don't understand what's happening, well, if you understand what's happening, you can basically understand anything back in time. So yeah, so again, Tada's going to be very deliberate with his files here, especially with this RBM, because this RBM is very special in the sense that one wrong move with his files can mean it being bad, basically. Like, yeah. Especially towards the end, if the Farron trial isn't there, you're basically stuffed, which would be a really big oof, and we're hoping that doesn't happen. So yeah, so we save at that statue with a file 1 to basically get the to get a Loftwing into back in time, as again saving at a statue can like commit some things. Now again we're going to enter the Farron Pillar in back in time. Again, we're going to be very particular with our file setup here, or with what file we enter, because if we enter with the wrong file, it can crash, because back in time really likes to crash apparently. And so as Tado's just entering the sky, we can see 64-bit is just entering the back in time. Yeah, commit story flags when you save, and having the Loftwing is a story flag. Apparently, diving off your Loftwing also saves. Diving off your Loftwing and going onto the correct file apparently also commit story flags, as the Elden RBW will see. But we won't see that in the run because we don't have to go to Elden. So yeah, this is pretty cool. So now we're in Farron. Again, Farron just miraculously doesn't crash, whilst everything else this game does. And it's really nice that it doesn't actually crash, because we can skip so much with Farron bit. And again, definitely now Tyler's going to be very selective with his files, because again, one wrong move with his files and you're done for. So this is definitely a really good test of files and like file management. And again, just bit magic in action. Selecting file 1 will basically put those logs down, or put that log pushed in, because that's that scene flag is committed on file 1. And as we know, when you select a file, the scene flags of that file will be transferred over to back in time, or the map on back in time. Okay, so now this Kikri teleport happens. No one really knows why. It just does. I think it's something to do with the slingshot, is my best guess. So now we're going to do some funky stuff at the viewing platform. Die, and then fingers crossed, the Farron trial will be unlocked, or have been. Yeah, unlocked. Yeah, we'll be able to go through it in theory. And it's definitely more important at this point than ever to be very particular with his files. Because if he, again, one mess up, as I've said this about a million times, can cost him the entire run. Okay, so again, very specific save with file 1 and file 2. And he's also looking in a very specific direction, because if he was looking towards Lake Floria, a door cutscene would happen, which would likely soft lock if it happened twice, which would be really bad. So we wouldn't want that. Okay, so now he dies at file 2, selects file 3. Yep, and continues, and hopefully the trial will be there. I didn't notice anything wrong with this, so the trial should be there. Yes, it is. Okay, I believe he still has to do one more copy. I'm not entirely familiar with the this route. Because again, I run Japanese, I don't run NTSC 1.0. So yeah, copy file 1 to file 2, I think it was. And enter the Farron trial by starting the file at a very specific point in the cutscene. And boom, we're in the Farron trial. It's going to be a bit buggy because we started outside the sort of like circle that you see in front of Tado. So we do have to get caught once, and you'll notice that second tier didn't actually register. So in order for tiers to actually register, we have to get caught first, because you'd normally get caught like once. Okay, so now again, 64-bit is just finishing up the trial. Now, people think he's going to soft lock. I haven't noticed anything different. Please elaborate. He's get caught with at least 2 tiers. That's interesting, because like I've always got caught that way, and I've never actually soft locked. So well, we'll see. Okay, so they've probably doing interesting copying stuff. I don't know if this is needed, but that's cool. Okay, and in theory, the Fire Trial should be up for him. Yes, file 3. Yeah, okay, good. If he copy file 2, that would be run over. Like, he would automatically hand Tato the dub here. So yeah, he's just finishing this up. And yeah. Yeah, he did get the tears in the stairs, yeah. At least I'm pretty sure. I don't see why he wouldn't. Evident by the fact that the bottom left one is like not a thing. Yeah. 64-bit, please get that tear. Otherwise you'll suffer. Yeah. Okay, so yeah. Both these runners are in the Farron trial. It's still fairly close, I'd say. A lot can still happen in terms of Ancient Cistern. It's a very unforgiving dungeon. Mostly on the Japanese, but also in some cases in NTSC 1.0, it's fairly unforgiving. Why he's not getting caught? I think he's just I think he's just choosing to get caught at a different point. You don't have to get caught there; you just have to get caught at some point during the trial. Okay. I mean, if he wants to, he can get caught in Waking Water, but then he's got himself in a pretty sticky situation there. Because the Waking Water is kind of bugged on this buggy version of the trial. He's getting caught here. Okay, that's understandable. You missed it by accident once it got softlocked? That's bad. Yeah, don't do that. But I think both these runs should be fine, because I saw them both pick up 2. And now let's go. Tada golded that. I can see his splits because of like the restream stuff, which is pretty cool. But yeah. Again, since we're a bit in the middle of this, Tado just at the end. So this is definitely gonna be. This race is not called for Tado. Anything can happen at this point. Okay, yeah. So he's for a bit waiting for Waking Water and failing it. Well, good job. So now this is kind of, I think, a stage situation, I think. Oh, no, it isn't. It's fine. Okay. We'll just don't mess this up. Oh, he's going to wait. Okay. Makes sense, yeah. Okay, so here's where the English route differentiates from the JP route. In the JP route, you would like go to Skyview because you do like a yeah, I'm explaining this really badly. Because on Japanese, you actually enter Ancient Cistern in a different way because Japanese doesn't have Cistern Cliff, which is the NTSC 1.0 exclusive. But this does, so we'll be able to take advantage of that. Ooh, seems for having quite interesting way of getting around that. Just barely got around it with the stamina he had. Yeah, so on English at NTSC 1.0, you just need to save there. Okay, and again, these runners throughout this back in time will be very particular with their files. I don't exactly know what's going on. I roughly do, but not entirely because I don't run. I've never run this route, so they could be doing something slightly different. Look, I need to. Okay, I'm just gonna remind myself. There's like no brake slide at the end of this. In the JP route, after this RBM, there's an incredibly difficult brake slide, but that's not in this. So these runners don't have to worry about that. On 64-bit, it's saving quite a lot of time, actually. Jingle skip, yeah. Okay, so it's the same, but you just bit save different files. Okay, yeah. I did notice in bit saving file 1 where I would normally bit save file 2 because JP differences. But yeah, so both runners out of the trial, and now it's just a race to try and get to Ancient Cistern, get to the specific coordinates that will help us get to the top of the Great Tree, and yeah. Oh, okay, it's so you get the bizarre coordinates. Okay, yeah. Yeah, because on NTSC, the only coordinates you need to get into inconsistent are just the ones at the bazaar. In in JP, however, you need the ones in Skyloft because again, there's no system clip, so you need to enter it from a different way. You need to enter it in a different way for it to be faster. So yeah, so 64-bit just starting is back in time. Tado just I believe getting onto it, or yeah, almost finishing it. Oh, he gets a cutscene. Don't select any files, Tado. They'll be fine. Just stop. If he has to redo this entire bit, this will be bad because 64-bit will now have the lead. Then, be careful here. Yep, cool. I think everything's good, assuming he doesn't mess up or anything. Yep, he's good. Okay. Sky view, yeah. I think I said Skyloft because I'm an idiot, but whatever. Okay, so now these run. Also, if you're wondering why that log down is down, it's because it's magic. It's called bit magic for a reason. Tado's getting us via the rupee. I don't know if you can get it by. I'm pretty sure you can get it by the slingshot though. It might be different for NTSC 1.0. And he's gonna start this. He's gonna enter system, start this file at a very specific point, and then the file will be in ancient system. Yeah, and here we go. And because the coordinates were from the bazaar, he spawns up here instead of in the basement, where is the alternate JP route, which we'll see with a few other runners coming up later in this tournament, i.e. myself. And there is like after that, there's a very precise break slide, where if you miss, you have to do the entire RBW again, so it's very scary. Alright, so yeah, Tado just dying there. And there's this system clip. It allows you to clip through the you're kind of like a seam in the ground. This is NTSC 1.0 exclusive, and this is why it's still a sort of valid valid category in this. Oh, not valid. I should say like still a contending category in this. Wait, it's a contending version in this category. There we go. That's how to English. So the question here is kind of wonky, but both the runners are going to kind of make their way around these as smoothly as possible. First Tado and then 64-bit when he does the RPM. And because we can, we're just going to go ahead and skip all the required stuff, and we're just going to go ahead and make our way to the whip. Not valid. Yeah, my words aren't that great. I think everyone knows that. I'm bad at choosing words correctly. Anyway, so here's whip. This is only useful to get up to the boss statue in yeah, it's only useful for that, and that's significant because we're going to do an RBW into the Great Tree, similar to how we did an RBW into the Farron or into Ancient System. So again, as we're sort of coming to the end of this run, so yeah, 64-bit does have to kind of make sure that words bad. Yeah, 64-bit is just kind of making sure he plays well and just hoping that I guess Tado messes up or something. Someone should probably notify Tado that in order to win, you actually have to stop the race timer. It appears to be offline in Discord. Someone should probably tell him in this chat. I don't know. Kirby Triple Deluxe has Skyward Strikes. Damn. I hope he didn't mean that as stopping the race timer now. That would be dumb. Yeah, I just messaged him by that, yeah. So, yeah. If you hope you saw a chance beam. That is sick, though. Alright, so yeah, as you can see, both runners are doing consistent clip of, Tado's doing it for the third time, I think. 64-bit's doing it for the second time, so they're both really actually kind of close, to be honest. And this race is going to be quite close. Yeah, 64-bit still has to get the whip, though, so small time loss. Yeah, and so now this next this doesn't clip was significant because now we can just get the boss key just like that, and now we can make our way to the boss statue. Alright, it's also important that the runners make their way around this in a very specific way, as so they don't trigger this fight, which wouldn't be the end of the world, it'd just kind of be a cutscene. But it would be beneficial not to hit this cutscene, yeah. And both runners basically do it unless they actually hit it later. Yeah, we see Tado making his way up to the boss key. 64-bit still has to get his boss key, so he's quite a bit behind. He's on PB pace though, by like a few seconds. Yeah, okay, so Tado is just getting up to the boss key, or boss door, I mean. He inputted the boss key, now he's getting up to the boss door. Well, it's not really a boss door, the boss door's kind of weird. The boss statue, we'll call it the boss statue, that's much easier. Oh yeah, 64-bit just kind of hopes that Tado messes up somehow. Because whilst winning isn't entirely impossible, it's looking less and less each second. But I'd still say this is definitely a close race. And again, we still have one more iteration of back in time to do, and that one can be quite devastating if you're not paying attention. Okay, so Tado's just going to save in a very specific point, so his coordinates can line up with the Great Tree's properties. Properties, yes, English. It's embarrassing. My native language, and the only language I speak is English, but I've been messing up so much with like talking. You know, talking the thing that should be easy, but nah, I can't do it apparently. Anyway, so going back to the game, yeah, Todo's just starting his kind of final iteration of Back in Time. And 64-bit just getting the boss key. Okay, so actually, I'm kind of confused here. Sorry, I wasn't. I was like looking at something else. I wasn't really looking at the screen. Okay. Oh, it looks like he's doing something here. I don't know if he has. But I look away for 1 second and stuff happens. Apologize. Okay, so it looks like you're gonna do the Back in Time again, which does kind of shorten his lead. Yeah. I think he must have messed it up somehow. I was not looking when he messed it up. Nice. But yeah, this definitely decreases the lead, decreases his lead over 64-bit by quite a bit. And again, Tado being very intentional with his files here, so he doesn't mess anything up. Oh, we got early content. Okay, thanks, Jazznig. I wasn't looking for that 1 second. Okay, that's cool. And again, 64-bit kind of aiming himself at the Make sure his coordinates will line up perfectly. Okay, so just doing some skydiving stuff. Oh, and it looked like he oh, yeah, no, he selected the wrong files. Okay, that's going to be devastating now. Okay, we have a race on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. With 64-bit now having quite a big lead because Tado just kind of decided to commit die, apparently. Okay, this is... Wow. Okay, Tado's going to have to bring something back from the game to make up from those two mistakes. Damn. And I remind you just how important this match is. If you win, the latest you can, because of like this format is double elimination in groups. If you win, the worst you can get on the losers bracket is round 3. If you lose, you go to losers bracket round 1, and you have to win every single time after that to get into the the single elimination stage. So if Tado loses here, that's going to be quite the yikes. That would be that'd be quite, yeah. It looks like he's kind of doing stuff right now. So that's kind of, yeah. Alright, so now he's activate back in time. Can he do back in time? Because he just died in like the back in time map. I'm not quite sure if it works. It might work on like a few frames. Oh no, he just died to get... Okay, yeah, he died to get back to... Okay, I'm dumb. Okay, 64-bit not crashing. That's cool. So yeah, this is... 64-bit now has quite a demonstrously big lead. That's how... Yeah, that's how you say it. He has quite a big lead now. So I don't know... I don't know if Tado could bring this back. I honestly... This is going to be interesting to see, because 64-bit can still mess up. If either one of them messes up the back in time, or if 64-bit still messes up the back in time, Tado would regain the lead. Okay, unfortunately, it doesn't look like we'll be finishing within the 1 hour mark. Yeah. Okay, so all 64-bit now has to do is just not mess up, and we could be good. Okay, Tado a bit unsure about his files and stuff. Alright, so now for this RBM, we kind of have to like aim it with the Water Dragon scale to get into into the Great Tree. So again, if 64-bit fails this, that regains Tado the lead from when he just lost it. So I think he bonked. I don't think this is good. It's not good. Okay then. Now Tado's in the lead. Everyone just gets in the lead every 5 seconds. You know what? Why not? Okay, Tado has now regained his lead. Wow. Oh, 64-bit he just had one job to do, and that was to not mess up. And he messed up. So, assuming Tado doesn't mess up here, he can have the dub. And assuming he doesn't mess up, yeah, assuming he doesn't mess up, yeah. Okay, he gets the Farron Pillar stuff. Well, he started the file too early. Now he messed up again. Now 64-bit's in the lead. Oh god, yeah. I was a race when Jace Germany failed 2x20. Oh yeah. I think I was there as well, and I also failed it. That was just like everyone has the lead for like 5 seconds. Okay, yeah, this is this is a race, ladies and gentlemen. God damn. Okay, so yeah. Oh, I'm totally failing something. Again, wasn't looking at the screen. Why does this always happen? I swear, every time I like don't look at the screen, something bad happens. Why? I need to stop doing that. Okay, so now 64 bits in the lead apparently. Yeah. I do think that like races is definitely about consistency or like doing it because Tado is definitely on paper the better lead. He has the 56. 64-bit Link has a 104 as a PB, but that doesn't mean anything if you in the race setting if you can't repeat that and constantly be better than your opponent. So again, it does look like 64-bit is in front, but he can still die. Anything can happen. I'm not joking when I say that. Yeah, if you fail the Sky RBW or something, yeah, that's kind of bad extra. Yeah, it's not like you do that or anything. It's not like you've done that or anything. Okay, so we currently have 64-bit just about halfway through this RBW. Talo just starting it. After both players failing it a few times, so yeah, nice. Okay, can we teleport again? No one really knows why this happens, it just does. Okay, so 64-bit does have another chance of this. I don't think he committed that properly. We'll see. Please don't start the file. Please don't do that. Please don't. Oh, he okay, he committed it properly. Okay, now he will get another chance. Will he bonk or will he succeed? Oh, he bonked again! No, no! I swear I'm not cursing this. That was just him. Oh god, yeah. So he had the lead again, and he did mess up in the exact same way, which now gives Tyler the lead. Oh my god, what is this race? This race is insane. There's just back and forth. You have the lead. No, you have the lead. No, you have the lead. This is insane. Genuinely. You know the Musu, I'm back quite a bit. You missed quite a lot. They've been trading leads just generously from failing this RBW a million times. Like currently Tado's in the lead, but it used to be 64-bit, and before that it was before that it was Tado, and before that it was 64-bit. They've been kind of trading leads by failing this. But I think eventually one of them will reign supreme. So this isn't really about being fast, it's about who can just do this quicker. Or who can not mess it up this time. So now we have Tado basically nearing the end of this. 64-bit is kind of getting to it. He's getting into the sky, so he does have quite a way. So I think what he can hope for now is just that Tado messes up. Or he bonks or anything. Which should be insane. It would just happen again. Okay, so now... Or if he starts a file, that's also quite bad. Because again, file management is not easy. And it kind of takes a while to get like used to how the files work and stuff. Okay, so now this is Tado's chance. Will he do it? We will see. That looks Monka S. Oh, he did it. Okay, nice. And you got the void out as well. That's very good, because if you wouldn't have got the void out, that would have been quite bad. Actually, wouldn't have mattered. He had full health. What am I talking about? So now for Tado, it's just a sprint to the finish. And hopefully he actually remembers to stop the race time. I reminded him Discord, I reminded him on just about everything. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, not getting harmed at all. That's quite, like, that sprint to the finish is kind of a bad one, because sometimes you can just die when you do that. Alright, he has reached the top of the tree and is going to finish soon. Alright, so now all that's left, this is Yerbal. All he has left to do is just hit Yerbal with a slingshot, and he has won the race against 64-bit Link. This insane race had an insane ending. And he finishes with a time of 1:06:53, apparently. I don't know if the race time. 1:06:55 is what the race time says. I don't know if I will be reflective on the restream, but yeah. Okay, yeah. So Tano finishes, which means that he is the one which moves on to winners bracket round 3, where he'll have to face either me, CJ, or Dish, and 64-bit loses, which puts him down to losers round 1. A very sticky situation, which means that he's gonna have to, in order for him to be a victor in this tournament, he's gonna have to win 1, 2, 3. He'd have to win 5 rounds, 3 in the group stage and 2 in the winners bracket stage. Or no, in the single elimination stage. That's what I meant. But yeah, absolutely GG's to Tato. He might come in for an interview, maybe. Trademark. Okay, so yeah, it does look like 64-bit also was kind of fine with that sprint to the finish. It always seems to be me that tends to take damage there. I don't know about anyone else, but I always take damage there, and no one else seems to. Yeah. Okay. And 64-bit Link finishes with a time of 1:08:40 something. Okay, so yeah, that was that. Very interesting race, especially towards the end. That was nuts. But that was the result. So yeah, again, as I say, this is double elimination, with double elimination and single elimination and double elimination in groups. And again, Tato goes on to round 3, winners bracket. So he just has to win one more time, and he is in the in the single elimination stage. And yeah, and 64-bit enters for an interview. So GG, that was an interesting finish.
Yeah, I wish I didn't bonk twice trying.
Yeah, had you not bonked, you would have won this. Like,
yeah. I was listening to the commentary the entire time. I'm like, yeah, I have a chance, and then I bonk, and then it's like, rip, and then like Dono even gave me a second chance, and then I still bonked.
Yeah, give you a second chance, and you still discorrect. Yeah. But no, I think you played well, except for the end. You won like PB pace for most of the time.
Yeah, it was. I'm trying to think. Extending below was really awkward. I like failed the spin attack, and then I failed cube warp once.
Yeah.
So that was well, basically because for some reason I just like could not aim at the beehive, so it took me like 5 Skyward strikes, and by the time I got over, the cube warp Boko was not in the correct place, and I had to like readjust and lost a bunch of time there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then Parent Trial, I actually forgot to get caught at that first watcher, so that's when I realized, oh shoot, I need to get caught later.
Yeah.
So I actually did forget there. And then Cistern went surprisingly well. I golded that segment by like 40 seconds. And yeah, and then yeah, that was fine. And then Great Tree RBW was just a train wreck.
Yeah. And now we have Tado in here as well. GG on the win here.
Yeah,
GG Tado.
Uh, yeah. That was kind of bad. It was bad.
It was an interesting ending. You did kind of hand 64-bit a few leads there, which he politely declined by bonking a few times. But no, but with that run, that puts you at. Let me get the bracket up. That puts you at winners round 3 in Group B. So you'll be facing either me, CJ, or Deesh, and you just have to win one more time, and you're in the you're in the single elimination bracket. So how do you feel being at this stage in the tournament?
I don't know how to feel, to be honest. This is my first race, and
yeah.
I don't know. I'm glad I was able to win, but I really gotta like deal with my nerves because like I mistimed one bit save and then I lost way more time to that than I should have just because nerves.
Yeah, I think nerves are definitely a huge factor. We don't really factor in speedrun because in speedrun we just kind of just play the same game over and over and over again, and we just doesn't. Failing has like no consequence except like resetting and being slightly tilted each time. But in a race, it really matters, and controlling your nerves is definitely a definite factor. But yeah, and now same question to 64-bit. Because you lost that, you are now in the losers round 1, and you have to claw your way through basically all of the matches to get into the single winner stage. How do you feel being at this unfortunate position in this tournament so far?
I mean, it's gonna be tough. I just like they're like, yeah, I think I like am because I'm already one of the lower seeds and and like, I mean, basically my only shot at like the next race is really to probably PB in the race.
Because looking at the bracket, you have to face the loser of CJ versus Deesh. Then you have to face the loser of Kickoff, me versus whoever wins, CJ or Deesh. And then you have to face the loser round 3. So you have to face a lot of people just to get to the next stage. And I've been saying that how important this race actually was. So from my end, that's about it. There's not much else to say. Yeah, you guys don't got anything else to say? I don't. Right, so yeah, just waiting to be pulled off, and hopefully we'll get to see more exciting Yerbal runs in the future. I believe next one is 9th of January. It's Thray and Muzu, and it's CJ and Deesh. So yeah, I'm about done here.
Adios and GG.
GG's to you both. Going to quickly plug a couple small things. Shoutouts to both of the runners, Tado SR and 64-bit Link, and to our commentator today, KitCop, as well as to Angry Demon Noises, who helped his setup. Who was the main restreamer? I'm just helping to close this out. We're going to quickly go over here the schedule on ZSR. So currently over on Zelda Speedruns 2, we have the Breath of the Wild 90% bi-weekly race, which we will be reading shortly. Over on Zelda Speedruns _3, we have the Majora's Mask Randomizer standard weekly race currently ongoing. In about an hour and 10 minutes here on this channel, we will have the Zelda sub-goal reward on this channel, where a bunch of us restreamers will be playing some Among Us with the subs. At 2:50 p.m. Eastern on Zelda Speedruns 2, we have a Wind Waker Spoiler Lock tournament. Winners bracket quarterfinals between Gymnast and Krog WW, followed 10 minutes later by a Wind Waker Randomizer bi-weekly fun race on ZSR_4. This evening, we have the Ocarina of Time Randomizer Standard Tournament, Season 4 Standard Tournament Qualifier number 8 on Zelda Speedruns 2. At 9:20 p.m. tonight, we have the another Wind Waker Spoiler Lock Tournament match, winners bracket quarterfinals again between PK Slam and Wisty. And to wrap out the night, we have the Zelda 2 randomizer weekly race on ZSR2 at 10 p.m. Eastern, and then we've got plenty more stuff going on tomorrow. We've got some we've got another Ocarina of Time randomizer qualifier. We have the Skyward Sword 100% showcase read at noon. And we've got some more Minish Cap and we've got a Minish Cap weekly, randomizer weekly, and another Wind Waker spoiler log match. So thanks for watching, everyone, and we're going to go and say hi to our friends playing Breath of the Wild on ZSR2.